On this episode of Carnage, we do something we've never done before. We bought a Torana. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So yeah, we bought another Torana. But 3 years ago, we bought this little beauty. It is the most expensive Carnage car we have ever bought. Cost more than the Ute, cost more than Superman, cost more than Turbo Taxi back when we bought those cars as projects. In fact, I think it cost more than the Ute and Turbo Taxi put together. Anyway, we bought it during peak COVID, and that was half the problem. We thought, prices are skyrocketing. If we ever want to get into a steel bumper car, we need to grab one now before they get ridiculous. So we saw this little Torana and we thought, let's buy it and then work out what we do with it later. So it has a little 1300cc 4-cylinder engine and it is very clean. Like, it's clean, it's straight. It has 3 bits of rust in it. It has a little bit up near the firewall. The passenger floor has some holes in it, but nothing major. And then around the rear windscreen. Now, Rare Spares make patch panels for that and the floor, and the bit on the firewall is basically a flat piece of metal, so that'll be very easy. So very easy rust repairs. But the problem with this car has always been it is incomplete. We bought it as a rolling shell. It has an engine and box in it, but it has nothing else in it because being that it's a 2-door Torana and it was orange, so I get a feeling, I'll have to look at the codes, but a feeling the interior was probably black. So if this was orange with a black interior, it would have been quite a nice car when it was new. Someone has obviously ratted the interior for a GTR swap. So bucket seats, all that, it's all gone, blank column. So we didn't even have a steering column. This car has been a nightmare to move around because it has no steering column. So we've always been like, we've got this thing, what do we do with it now? You know, we don't really need another race car. We have, well, as in drag car, we have drag cars, you know. Yeah, this has been built since then. Lexan has been built since then. You know, we ran 9s with the Trolvo since then, lower 8s with the MX-5 since then. We've done a lot of things since we bought this car, and this car has kind of been sitting up the back of the workshop, forgotten about, just slowly collecting boxes. We use it for box storage. But yeah. So then this one popped up. So a mate of ours, Ben, his dad has had this in his garage for 25 years. It was always destined to be a parts car for a little 4-cylinder 2-door that they have. But the other day, they gave us a call and said, we got this Torana, what do you reckon it's worth? And we went, what is it? And 4-door TA. I said, is it complete? Oh yeah, it's all there. We want it. Forget anyone else, we want it. So we have bought this as a parts car for that. So this is complete. I mean, it is extremely rusty. Don't get me wrong. This one is probably going to the tip after we take everything out of it. But it's got windscreens, it's got seats, it's got the dash, it's got the column, it's got an engine and gearbox of the same type. It's basically all there. We won't be able to use the door trims, unfortunately, because I was under the belief that they had the same length doors, but no, the doors are actually longer on the 2-door. Beggars can't be choosers, but it has a perfectly good pair of bucket seats in there. Yes, they don't flip forward, but for the purposes of getting that thing on the road and registered, this has all the parts for that. And what I'd ultimately like to do is make a hill climb slash track car, you know, something we could do Optima with. I know I postulated the idea of putting that 6.4 Hemi into the Torana, and a lot of people were excited about that idea, but that is a massive boat anchor of an engine to stick in the front of a little car like this. I think we would pick something a little bit lighter and more capable of turning this car into a car that goes around corners, rather than, you know, a big cast iron V8. Even an alloy V8 would be better. Does anyone make an alloy V8? In the meantime though, I haven't even really looked at this car. It showed up 2 days ago and we haven't really looked at it other than to say we need tetanus shots because this thing is mega rusty. So I haven't even really fully opened the bonnet because A, rust, and I'm afraid the bonnet will break in two. Oh, here we go. Oh. Bonnet is bending. So the question is, bonnet's stuffed. All right, so it doesn't matter. Oh, look at it. It's just gone in places. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's all rotted out, Oh my God, this one's got boosted brakes. Wow, we can use that. Very little 4-cylinder engine, as with the other car. Yeah, maybe we should see if it runs. All right, so we've got a battery here. Oh, that is much too big for that area. So what I might do is just hook the battery up and see if it turns over. I've just done a quick little bit of research. So these are both 1300 cc's, as I said before, and the reason I know is they're only available with two engines, the 1300 or the 1760, and the 1760 is an overhead cam version, so much different looking engine. Our little two-door is a base model 1300 Torana, and this one is a deluxe. Yeah, I know, special, fancy. So the 1300, as I said, base model, they were 2.5 grand. These were about 3 grand. And yeah, they just got a couple extra things, you know, nicer interior stuff. Probably the reason why it has a boosted braking system as well. But yeah, this is the upmarket one apparently. All right, is that going to reach to that? That to there. That to there. Okay. So I don't think it's going to start or anything silly because for starters the fuel pump is disconnected. I just want to see if it turns over. So make sure it's out of gear, handbrake on, because this could be embarrassing. And that would be a no. No turn. Oh, hello. We got something. Okay. Sounds like starter motor is turning but not throwing. All right, let's have a look. What's down here? Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see what this does. They only made 11,000 of these cars, and 2,000 of those were for export, so only 9,000 in Australia. And I might be just about to set fire to one. Nope, either the starter motor is shagged or something else is wrong, but we can always try the starter motor over there. See if that makes a difference. Okay. Let's do a starter motor test. Check that it's not in gear. Confidence is high. All right. So that cable goes straight to the starter. Which means if I connect that. Well, that starter works. Maybe we should put that starter in that car. Right, so after some swearing at some geriatric engineering, I have pulled the starter out of that car, stuck it in this car. That's what it looks like. Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever seen? This part actually sticks out the back of the bell housing. It's exposed to the elements. What a terrible design. But anyway, let's whack a battery in this. See if it turns over, and if it turns over, I've got a fuel drum there with some fresh petrol in it. We'll run a line up to the fuel pump, mechanical fuel pump, and see if it actually starts. That's the plan. Okay. Oh, hello. Get a dicky key or something. I hope not. It's one of the things I want. Things turn. That's a good start. Bit of fuel down the carby. See if she starts. No sparks. Right, so I've changed the coil over from that car to this car just in case it was a coil issue. Let's have a look. Didn't seem to have any spark. No spark. All right, put a spark plug on. We might as well rock and roll. Right, so in a last ditch effort, I'm running a hot wire straight across to the coil just in case there's some breakage in the wire going across. We'll see if that makes a difference. seem to. At this point, not admitting full defeat, but I mean, we're using a lot of old components from cars like that are literally 50 years old. And we don't know that any of this shit works. So I could, you know, go and get a proper coil, make sure that works, go through with a multimeter, test everything, and we could do that. And I should do that. But it ain't gonna happen right now because end of the day, I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and we're out of time for today. So maybe we'll come back and have a look at that next week. Anyway, let's come back next week, have a look at it, see if we can make it run. So it is Monday and we're back on this thing. I had a quick look around and I did notice this earth lead which goes from the body and probably went to this lead was not on. So maybe that was a problem. Let's stick that on. Add a bit of power on this side. How's that going to reach? There we go. Dodgy Mechanics 101. All right, so we've got to earth to the body now, power straight to the coil, fuel in there. Okay. What's going on? Oh. Okay. One day that door is just going to fall off completely. She's not kicking. Okay. So it wasn't something simple like an earth lead. Now I need to get the multimeter out and start measuring things and see where we got power. Let's do that. Okay, so let's turn the ignition on. All right, ignition to there. And we'll see if we've got 12 volts through the ignition system. We've got 2 volts. We've got 12 volts to there. Good old points. Sits on there nice. If you've never used this, are you even Australian? Good old starcher bastard. Awesome. Okay. Definitely got no spark. Yeah, okay, got power to the points. All right, we'll see if we've got any spark energy going to the distributor or from the distributor. Well, that's a much better cap. All right, we'll try this one. That's a no. Well, I've done some poking and prodding with a multimeter and fell for one of my old traps, which is making assumptions about things, especially when you see a coil that doesn't look too old. You throw it into a car thinking, yeah, it's got to be better than the crusty old one that's in there. Well, she dead. The coil is dead. There's nothing coming from that one. Anyway, so don't make assumptions, kids. Anyway, the coil that's in there has a little bit more life in it, but not much. Its reading is pretty weak, so I don't think it's actually going to be putting out much, if any, spark. So I went down and checked the local parts stores. Of course, no one carries coils for 50-year-old Toranas anymore, especially 4-cylinder ones. Yeah, who'd have thunk? So, and not only that, they can't get it in this week. If they can get them in, which they reckon they can, but it won't be this week. So, yeah. So I'm calling it time of death is, yeah, Monday afternoon, because we got other things we need to do, and we don't need to be wasting our time starting old 4-cylinder engines that we may or may not use. So we will order some stuff for it. We will get it started. It just won't be here on this episode of Carnage. So stay tuned. There's more to come. We've got to transfer a lot of bits out of this car into that car, but we've got to do rust repairs on that car first. There's so much to do. We've got rust repairs, we're transferring of parts, we've got to get engines started. Lots to do, lots to see, and you're going to see it all on future episodes of Carnage. Dead.